Who's my main gonna be? Obviously Jinx. Now, who the second player is gonna be? That's TBD. There's gonna be 14 total at launch. We have 6 confirmed. Hot, stupid take, maybe, but I think that, I think Malzahar deserves a slot. Oh, I definitely think Shaco needs to be in there. Thresh has definitely gotta be one. I know Viego is technically a bigger threat, but Thresh is arguably more iconic, right? Or is it Mordekaiser? Riot kind of executed them perfectly because they're like the 3 big villains of the Shadow Isles, and like sure you have Hecarim who's essentially the Hound, but like he's sort of just a jackass compared to the other 3 literally just being their own individual Thanoses. I would like to take some time to discuss who we would want and what we think of the roster so far. We love Darius in this. We stand Darius in this house. Echo, love us some Echo, and they recently confirmed Illaoi, but that list up there doesn't mention.
God.
I kind of like Illaoi. I don't like her gameplay, but I like her aesthetic. Like the idea that she fights with a giant ass jar that has Cthulhu locked inside is kind of badass. I figured we could scroll through and decide who else we know, who else we'd like to see in it. I feel like Aatrox would be a good pick. Like he's kind of like Ragna from BlazBlue. You remember the red guy with the big sword, Jamie?
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like that guy. So I feel like he'd be a good like default, not like heavy hitter, but like medium hitter. And maybe since he's got wings, give him like a second jump or something. Meanwhile, I feel like they have to use Akali. Akali's an easy cop out. You can't not have a ninja. And I get that they already have Yasuo in it, but come on, what's one more? Akshan, he's like a shooter. I don't see. I want to say that Akshan is a shooter, so he wouldn't make a good character, but they're already making Jinx a character. So I'm not sure what they're... I'm not sure how much physics is going to dictate the gameplay. You know? Alistair, however you say it. He's literally just a Minotaur. I don't see him ever getting added, even as expansion later, because, like, he'd be incredibly basic and quite possibly even boring. Some of them just aren't gonna make the cut. Like, let's be real. Annie, Anivia, and Aurelion Sol, I don't think any of these 3 would be in there, for example, you know? Aurelion Sol would feel like a waste of a slot, because he'd be, like, nerfed. To put him in a fighting game would feel, like, laughably underwhelming, because let's be real, he already feels like that in the base game. So I don't see how they'd be able to put him in a fighting game and make it better. Jamie, Bard is a support champion whose whole shtick is he plays really obnoxious like flute music and then flies through walls. So like he could be like the most broken, toxic fighting game character in human history. It would be hilarious. I would use him just to like have like I'm sure they'll have like a taunt system. I would use him just so I could do all the fighting as Jinx and then whip him out for the taunts. I'm sure if they had like a taunt system, that'd be all I'd use him for. Brand, obviously. You got Briar. I really like fighting game characters that have lifesteal status effects. Especially if they manage to properly and in a balanced manner implement her like berserk status, like how she like doesn't stop attacking. You could really make some like risk reward balances with that. Adore Caitlyn, but I don't see her being a good fighting game character. Now Camille, on the other hand, Draven would be a really good character for this. I know Ben would go absolutely feral if Ezreal was a fighter. He'd be like, "Oh heck yeah, my toxic stun support character got get ready for these frame locks, baby." Galio is another Alistair situation. Yeah, he's got interesting lore, but like he's just big dude who punch. If I want big dude, I would go more in like the lane of Gragas, because Gragas' whole thing is he's like drinking all the time and like setting alcohol on fire and stuff, so like I feel like he'd be more interesting as a big dude fighter than just big dude who punch. Garen, Again, it's another argument of like basics. He's cool. I love him. His story is amazing. But he is appallingly basic. So like, other than the novelty of being able to fight Darius, does he really deserve a slot? Probably not. Won't complain if he's there, but I will not be surprised if he never makes the cut. Now, Heimerdinger, that's the fun one. That's the one that I'd say, yeah. Throw that boy in there. Give me, you'd have to limit him, like, comically. Like, he'd have to like throw out a turret and then it'd be good for like one shot and then it disintegrates or something. So you'd have to like give him a combo that's like hit with wrench, launch with wrench, build turret, turret shoot, continue combo. Like, it would need to be something like that. You couldn't just have him be like he is in the game, where you build a turret and it literally stays there for like 30 seconds. That would make him like unbalanced and unplayable. Lysandra is evil Elsa. Like, this is not rocks, this is black ice all over her body. And her lore is so cool. We could have like a 2-3 hour discussion just about her lore. It's awesome. But she would kick ass as a fighting game character. I think she'd be so awesome. Master Yi, his design is cool, but he's very basic. I feel like he'd be another Lee Sin. He'd just be Lee Sin with a sword, you know? Other than Smash, what are your thoughts on Morgana?
Morgana wouldn't be a bad one.
But
I mean, they have so many characters already that are like Morgana, you know? Just the whole League roster has so many hot anime vampire-esque magic-based
She's literally on the same line as
characters.
Miss Fortune and Nami,
You know,
so
it's
you're
like-
not wrong. Hecarim is cool, but I feel like all of his associates would be infinitely cooler as fighting game characters, starting with friggin' Mordekaiser.
Miss Fortune, I think, is going to be in there. She's just too much of an iconic character
she's too marketable.
to not have her.
I think
she is an icon.
I think she will be, like, I like her as a character. I like her character design, but I think that she will be disappointingly basic from a fighting game perspective. Because let's face it, what part of her kit is anything other than shoot? Now, Nami could totally kill as a fighting game character.
Nami from One Piece?
Not Nasus. I don't see him making a decent fighting game character. Nautilus, maybe, but you'd have to try really hard. Now, Nico, Nidalee, and Neela, we'll just speed run that. I think all three of them kind of suck in terms of like fighting game character potential. I don't think they'd be anything good.
Yeah, Nico would not be able. I don't think Nico would be great at all.
I think the only one of those three who has like decent potential is Neela, but that's only because she's one of the demons. And even then, Nunu and Willump, yes, make them like Ferrator from Mortal Kombat X. Poppy, maybe.
Nah. With every kind of fighting game, they always have that one character who's the animal mascot, and I think that would be Heimerdinger.
Or Ziggs or something like that, yeah.
If they were to add a character.
Rengar and Renekton, definitely. I think both of them are super tenable as fighters. I think Rengar in particular would make a really, really good one. You could do the whole, he could basically play like the Predator from friggin' Mortal Kombat X. Because he turns invisible for one of his techniques. Renekton kind of strikes me with the same energy as like King Dedede, as weird as that sounds. Like, he's very chaotic. Yeah. He's very chaotic, and his whole thing is, I have big weapon, but I spin it round and thrash and pound. So you will die very quick now. So just put that in a fighting game energy and just make him like that. Ryze is literally the main character of League of Legends lore, so I would say he probably has to be there. Senna, I don't really feel anything for Senna. I get that they had the whole ruined king thing operating around her. I don't really care. I don't think she's that compelling as a character, both gameplay and lore-wise. Oh, she has a piece of his dead wife's soul inside her. I don't care. Nothing. absolutely. This is the problem, Riot, when you force your writers to quickly end an event abruptly, like you did with the Ruination event. When the development goes literally nowhere, people stop caring about your characters. Now, Set definitely should be in this game. Set's whole shtick is, I am the giant ripped cat man, and you will taste the dust of my knuckles right now. Bro literally runs around barefoot so he can kick you harder. Shaco? Definitely.
No.
Yes.
What?
Are you kidding me? Shaco's whole thing is he's a demon jester who does, like, substitution jutsu, and when he does it, he turns into a jack-in-the-box, and when you hit the jack-in-the-box, you get stunned. That could kick ass in a fighting game. Are you kidding me? Now, Sylas, on the other hand, hell yeah, put that bitch in the base roster. Sylas, I remembered, it's called a Mage Seeker, and he has these chains that he can, like, lash out with, and if they get a hold of you, he can absorb your essence and then basically use your entire moveset. So putting that in a fighting game, just that would be so disgusting, and I'd love it.
He's so cool.
Like, bad enough I would whoop Joe's ass with my characters, but I would then proceed to whoop Joe's ass with his characters.
Dude, just because you literally were beating me on Street Fighter doesn't mean you're gonna beat me at every single fighting game, dude.
I don't know, I'm locking in pretty hard for this one. I feel like Talon's too basic again.
I could see Talon coming in as like a DLC character.
Tom Kench. I hope they put him in the game, just so I can mollywop people while chanting, "Don't bench the Kench." I mean, let's think about his moves. He has the tongue whip. He has the eat. He has the
Tom Kencho.
He has the dive in and jump out. So like he's doable, but like yeah, you're right. When it comes to him versus every other character, that's a hard no. But I think Twisted Fate would be like dope, because what do his cards do? Red explodes, yellow accelerates your cooldowns, and purple stuns? I don't remember. I haven't played Twisted Fate in a long time. But I know that he'd be fun. We'd have a fun time with him in a fighting game. Urgot, no. Udyr, maybe, because Udyr's whole shtick is he has like 5 different animal spirits that he cycles through for his combos. So you might be able to make something out of that. Vi, Dur, Vladimir, Victor, and Viego. Yeah. Those are 3 yeses immediately.
Oh, yes.
3 yes, hard yes, all across the board. Viego, literally the only way this man has ever suffered is in writing. His moveset is peak, his voicing is peak, his character design is peak, that sword is peak. Like, yeah. He's literally zombie Dracula Mihawk. You can't go wrong with that. Wukong and Warwick? Definitely. Both of them can do it. That's gonna be our take on what the roster should be. Riot released a skin for Ahri that's $500. Now, if they released a high-value Jinx skin...
Jinx skin? Oh yeah, you'd be all over that.